xRhythms.
That's on God. His light shine the brightest in the dark. You can still be anything you wanna be. When I thought the book of Job was a job, the devil had my soul, I can't lie.
Like, of all of my favorite artists, of all my favorite rappers to be specific, like Kanye comes top 3 and he is not number 3. So, okay, like it's that deep. Yo guys, it's me, it's Nola, I'm back, and as you can tell, this is gonna be my Kanye West Jesus is King review. So this isn't going to be like a track by track, line by line review of Jesus is King. It's just going to be a whole body of work review and just me sharing my thoughts on this. First of all, you should know out of the gate, I am a massive Kanye West fan. Like, of all of my favorite artists, of all my favorite rappers to be specific, like Kanye comes top 3 and he is not number 3. So, okay, like it's that deep. And that's not of recent years. That's been from early. That's been from like Jesus Walks. That's been from Late Registration, like Graduation. It's been from all of these, like his classic albums. But deeper than that, I've also seriously, especially over the past few years, like tracked with Kanye in the media as well, and just the things that Kanye says, because Kanye is a very, well, you just heard it there, like he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like Kanye West, he will express and talk about the very things that he's either going through or the things that are happening around him, and he's not afraid to comment on them away from the whole political view and trying to be nice about it or trying to not offend somebody. He'll give you his opinion about what he believes about something. And for a lot of people, they get frustrated about that and they say all sorts of different things. Whole cancel culture has cancelled Kanye and stuff and said, no, we're not rocking with Kanye anymore, he's out, we don't mess with him, or blah 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 blah. But for me, it's the opposite. When I see someone who still thinks for themselves or embarks on thinking for themselves, then I'm just kind of like, actually, I'm more attracted to you because I want to hear a fresh opinion. I don't want to hear someone who like hears a genuine opinion and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to go with this because that's what's going to keep me in the good graces of all the people and the majority, you know. Kanye West doesn't really care for the majority. This is the same Kanye West now who's come out with Jesus is King.
God is king with his soldiers. Ultra beam out the solar. The gates, I ain't gotta peek over. Keeping perfect composure.
Okay, wait. I said I wasn't gonna do like a track by track review. I'm not. But I want to clear something up. This track is called Selah, yeah? He says, when I get to heaven's gates, I ain't gotta peek over. People are wondering, what does that even mean? Like, when you get to heaven's gates, you haven't gotta peek over. Heaven's got like great big gates. You're saying heaven's gates are small. No, to break it down really, really simply, the way I interpret him saying, he's just like, when I get to heaven gates, I haven't got to peek over. He's saying I'm no longer on the outside of heaven. Like, because of Jesus and me being born again, because Kanye West has expressly said in different interviews that he has been born again and now he works for God, and I quote, I work for God, that's what he's been saying. He's saying, oh, okay, I'm no longer standing on the outside of heaven. I'm not going to hell. I'm actually now in heaven. I'm gonna be in heaven with the rest of y'all. What's good? Another amazing thing I take from this is that I love Kanye's boldness from the jump with this, like the entire project. He didn't mask it or veil it, should I say, in poetic language or something when he's coming up with the title of the album. He straight says Jesus is King, very, very simply, very straight, very direct with it. He doesn't leave it for interpretation as to what he's producing here, what he's giving out here. Like, he is giving you Kanye West's version of a gospel album. And on that note, I love the fact that this isn't a Kirk Franklin album, this isn't a Hillsong sounding album, this isn't a Bethel sounding album, this isn't an Elevation Worship sounding album, this isn't Donnie McClurkin sounding album. This is like a Kanye West gospel album. It's got Kanye's feel, it's got Kanye's sound, it's got Kanye's creativity, it's got Kanye's way all over the tracks. Don't get me wrong, he has some staples of gospel music which you need for gospel music. Like, he's got the choir and he's got the Christian cliche references and stuff like that, not in a negative way. He's got all of these things in there, but he uses them in a very Kanye West way where he sampled them to sound like the rest of his discography, which I really, really love. I really respect. Like, it's not a copy and paste thing. No, if anything, that tells me of the genuinity of his conversion, tells me of the genuinity of his change, because it's like, oh, okay, this thing has happened to Kanye West, this conversion, this born again experience has happened to Kanye West, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm still Kanye West, but I'm a child of God now. What would Kanye West do in this? Boom.
Switch your attitude. Go and level up, don't spoil yourself. Feel that feel, enjoy yourself. Cause we have everything we need, everything we need. We have everything we need.
I don't know if Ty Dolla Sign's a Christian or not, but that sounds amazing. Like everything we need, it sounds amazing. One of the only things I can really kind of pick at on this is one, yeah, the length of it. I wish it was longer. I wish it was a full length, like, album in that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's got 7 tracks. I was real wrong. But it's like 11 songs and it only comes to 27 minutes and 4 seconds, which kind of sucks considering like on his other albums, earlier albums, it's like they're longer, they're more full. So that's one thing, like the length kind of sucks a bit. I love it for it to have been like a good 45 minutes or something like that. 2 as well, it's the substance of it. Like, I love the fact that it's encouraging. I love the fact that he gets into a few things. So he talks about a discussion he was trying to have with his dad. He had to correct his dad about something, and then they start getting into an entanglement, and his dad turns around and says, well, you ain't being very Christ-like, and everything like that. So he talks about the whole condemnation things. For the culture, like, To Pimp a Butterfly is standing at the top right now of one of the best albums made in the last 10 years, for sure. If anyone wants to at me. But To Pimp a Butterfly stands that way because the way the storytelling is done, not just within the tracks, but from track to track, consistently across the whole body of work, is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And Kanye West has the ability to do that. I mean, like, again, look at My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He has the ability to do that. Look at Late Registration, look at Graduation, look at all of these albums that he's done. He has the ability to not just storytell, but to storytell across an entire album. And I really wish that Jesus is King would have done that. Like, I really wish that we would have seen Kanye go from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Kanye, we would have seen Kanye go from declaring and screaming, I am a God. We would have gone from Kanye selling hella stuff. Like, we would have seen Kanye go from that all the way to Kanye saying Jesus is King. Like, imagine an album like that where he shows you his process and stuff like that. I think that would have been more relatable. I think that would have been a bit more on the ground as well for a lot of people, because even me, for myself, I'm just kind of like, okay, this is great and I love this and it's a Kanye West album and stuff, but it's still lacking in substance. And don't get me wrong, Kanye's always been one where you can interpret his things, like he'll have double and triple entendres in his music and stuff, which is beautiful. It's an amazing way to write. But sometimes, well, I'm just gonna say on this album, it's like, you really could have done something bigger and grander here if you have just extended the length and also really dived into your storytelling element and your ability to storytell. And another way, I would say, the third thing, I would have loved if Kanye West had tackled this in a way where he also brought in other artists, a few more other artists, where they was able to express their take on Jesus is King, just the term Jesus is King, and let them come and bring their version, bring their view on Jesus is King. Like, are they offended by that? Do they believe that? Is there somewhere in the middle with that? Like, you know, just to allow different expressions and stuff. All in all, I really do enjoy this album. It gets a good 6 out of 10. I enjoy the album. I'll spin this again, I'll play this again. I'm gonna put this on my Christian playlist and stuff like that, if I even had a Christian playlist. Basically, when I'm in that place and when I'm spinning Christian stuff, I'll be spinning Kanye West, Jesus is King. I hope that helps you guys. If you haven't checked out already, make sure you go check it out. Form your own opinion. Don't just go with what you're seeing on the media and everything like that. It, honestly, in my opinion, it is great. So you go form your own stuff, and I'm gonna see you next time. We out.
xRhythms, music and life to the full.